All right, it's been a minute. Welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. Today, we are going to be talking about Matt Miller's way too early mock draft. The Rams had two selections in the first round, and I'm excited to talk about. Before we dive into that, though, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to check me out on all social media at JK Bogan, including platforms like Kick and Twitch. And also just want to let you know that today's sponsor is Mando. And if you've ever stepped outside and felt like you were just instantly drenched in sweat, no matter what you do, it just didn't stop, and you're struggling with the heat and the humidity of summer, well, I have great news for you. Mando just launched something that takes sweat control to the next level. Introducing the Mando Deodorant Plus Sweat Control Solid Stick. It has double protection. You finally get the odor control you love with Mando, plus powerful sweat control. I absolutely love that Mando went in this direction, and a sweat control stick with double protection, re-engineered based on studies to give all-day freshness and dryness. Sign me up. So if you want to get in on the action, you can use my code JKBogan and get 20% off site-wide right now and free shipping. So go over to shopmando.com. Please support the show and tell them I sent you. Mando, stay fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe. All right. So Matt Miller went through the whole first round, all NFL teams. And of course, I skimmed through and found the Rams picks and thought it was really interesting. So let's get started with the 9th overall pick, which the Rams have. Now, no, Matt Miller doesn't think the Rams are going to be dog water. He thinks the Falcons are going to give the Rams a top 10 pick. And to be honest with you, I kind of see this. Caden Proctor, offensive tackle, Alabama. So he decided to go with Caden Proctor, who is 6'7" and 370 pounds. He's got physicality. He's got a mean streak. He's really hard to handle, right? But he's not always the most consistent. His motor runs hot and cold, according to Matt Miller here. The Rams are looking for an heir apparent to Rob Havenstein at right tackle, and Proctor has more potential than any lineman in this class, according to Miller, if he can improve his consistency. So that was the first pick the Rams made. Interestingly enough, the Rams did not package both of their first rounders and move up and get their quarterback. No, they went with Proctor. That's interesting because they already signed Alec Jackson to a 3-year deal. Now, could Proctor end up being the left tackle of the future, depending on how things go medically with Alaric? Sure. But I don't love the whole hot and cold thing. Maybe it's a little bit overblown, and we'll see how he looks on tape this year. Truthfully, I don't know too much about him except, the little bit of research I did for this video. I'm just reacting to these mock drafts. But I don't hate the idea of going after a right tackle to replace Rob Havenstein. What I don't like is going after an offensive tackle before a quarterback. I think a quarterback next year, to me, they got to get a quarterback in the first round, without a doubt. You have 2 picks. If you have to use them and package them and move up and get the top guy you want, by all means, do it. So next up, the Rams have the 27th selection, meaning Matt Miller doesn't see the Rams going to the NFC title game. Interesting. Drew Aller from Penn State, the quarterback. Now, I've actually heard through the grapevine the Rams really like Drew Aller. They do. And to be honest with you, I like him. I like him a lot. Is he like an incredibly athletic quarterback? No. But I do like this player. I think he's built well, 6'5", 238. I just think this year's going to be huge for him. If he can take the next step this year, he could go as high as top 5. But here, he has the Rams going with Aller at 27, which I find interesting because I think he's a better prospect than Jackson Dart was coming out this year. And Jackson Dart went 26th. Or 25th. So I find it interesting that Aller would fall past that. But also what I find interesting is the Rams still go quarterback but they opt to go offensive tackle first. I mean, we're talking about the franchise quarterback, the passing of the torch from Matthew Stafford to this guy. In my mind, I understand where he's coming from. And I'm a big Matt Miller fan. I've spoke with him plenty of times, hung out with him at the Senior Bowl. Love Matt Miller. But I disagree here. And the reason I disagree is because while I like Aller, I don't believe for a second that if the Rams are true and they're really trying to get their franchise quarterback in 2026, they're not going to be like, we'll wait for, we'll see who drops to us at 27. We're just going to take the best offensive tackle here. I don't think so. I just don't buy that. And I don't think that's how you draft a franchise quarterback. You get the guy you fall in love with. It's that simple. You're not going to have Matthew Stafford forever. So you want to make sure that you hit home on this. So if he's the successor, I'd feel more confident with Drew Aller going at 9 and missing out on that tackle if they believe that's their quarterback than waiting until 27. Unless you feel like all of these quarterbacks are awesome, you don't care who you draft, you feel like anybody in that position is going to succeed in what you have, by all means, fine. But if you don't feel that way, I don't agree with waiting. So that's just my opinion. I like that he put this out because it's something for us to talk about. And during the dead July, we are going to be diving into some of the draft picks and do, a little bit way too early film breakdown on some of these players. So that's what we're going to do. But in my opinion with Aller is I feel like this is the year he does put it all together. But to be fair, he has not yet. He has the arm to make any throw. He can escape pockets, when things get tough. And, he goes through those cold stretches, though. And the decision-making and the accuracy does drop off. And he's not the best throwing off platform. So you saw the increase in his completion percentage, as Matt Miller points out, 59.9 to 66.5, which is very encouraging. But there definitely needs to be more improvement. And I do think ultimately at the end of the college football season this year, Drew Aller will be a first-round talent. So I have no issue with him being here. I just have an issue with how they came about. So here are my notes, right? And you could find this article. The whole thing is on ESPN. Shout out to Matt Miller at ESPN because I really enjoyed going through this. But the notes here that I have immediately, number one, stood out in my mind. The Rams in this scenario passed on LaNorris Sellers at 9, who came off the board to the Pittsburgh Steelers at 16. I just don't buy that. I don't think right now with what we know with LaNorris Sellers and how the Rams have a need at quarterback post Stafford, they either don't take a quarterback in the first round or they take one with the first pick that they have, or they package both of them and make sure they get the best guy. Sellers, to me, has a chance to go in the top 5. And to have him come off the board at 16 is kind of a slap in the face. Pick 7 picks after. So I know a lot of Rams fans are going to agree with me in the comment section. Like, you don't let this guy go. So that was something that I noticed. Number 2, another note, the Rams did not package both picks to move up in the draft. That's kind of been the assumption here that they would do that, but also having 2 first-round picks, you can pick 2 first-round talents. That is a real thing there. So that's the benefit, by the way. If the Falcons have the worst year you've ever seen, they pick number 1, that goes to the Rams, and the Rams can just pick their quarterback and then pick whoever the hell they want because they wouldn't have to trade up. Or they could just trade up and get somebody even better, whatever. So that's something that I noticed. They didn't, he doesn't have them packaging both picks. Another note of mine, the Falcons are projected to give the Rams a top 10 pick. I kind of touched on this earlier, but I'm going to kind of, reinforce this. The Falcons are in the same division as the Bucs, who look good, as the Panthers, who should be improved, as the Saints, who I don't trust them at all because I don't trust quarterback. And Michael Penix Jr. finished off the season looking like he could be a franchise quarterback. So I could see this, but I also could see the Falcons being like a typical 8-9, 9-8 team. Either way, I do think the Rams get like a top half of the draft. Like I think they pick in the top 16 with the Falcons pick. I do. But we'll see what ends up happening. Number 4 on my notes. Cade Klubnik from Clemson went number 1 overall. But the big thing was Arch Manning did not come out in this scenario. A lot of people have said he's not coming out. If the Rams were able to get the number 1 overall pick, the Falcons were the worst team. We knew it was going to the Rams. I think he would change his mind. I think there would actually be a real decision there. Because think about it. You're not going to get many better opportunities than to sit behind Stafford for a year and be the guy with Sean McVay for the next 10. You're just not. So if you knew ahead of time the Rams were going to have the number 1 overall pick, Arch Manning, it just feels like a no-brainer for him to come out. Like, you're not going to get a better scenario. Like, the following year, just coming out a year later, you're not going to get a Rams team picking number 1. And then last, but certainly not least, number 5, on my notes, Seattle ends up picking 10th, which I was shocked by. Arizona picked 14th, which I was surprised by. And the 49ers picked 23rd. So, because of this, Matt Miller has the Rams winning the NFC West. He has Seattle picking in the top 10. This is very interesting. Clearly, it doesn't go well with Sam Darnold and company. I don't know. But his scenario was very intriguing, and I thought it was worth going over. Again, you had Caden Proctor, the offensive tackle out of Alabama, going over at 9th overall to the Rams, and Drew Aller, quarterback out of Penn State, going to the Rams at 27th overall. What I probably would do different is I would have gone with Sellers at 9, and I'd probably just trade down from 27. That's probably what I would do, because I know that Arch Manning isn't in this draft, so there's no point in me trading up. So I would just recoup more picks. And I wouldn't mind getting that 4th rounder that the Rams traded away to go up and get Ty Hamilton either. So there you go. But those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about this. Definitely, I put the link in the description. I'm not trying to rip off Matt Miller. I appreciate the work he does. But I put the link in the description for the article. Good stuff all across the league. Yeah. So definitely check it out. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Check out today's sponsor, Mando. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, folks. Later. All right, guys. So once again, just want to let you guys know that you can check out my new side project, The Lounge. I interview athletes, musicians, actors, actresses, all the 9. So definitely check it out over on the Lounge with Jake Ellenbogen channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy. In case you guys haven't noticed, I do have a Discord channel for my community on this channel. And if you want to be a part of it, it is free. The link is in the description below. You can sign up. This is basically a 24/7 Rams channel, and we are almost at 1,100 members. So if you want to be a part of it, just hit the link in the description below.